According to the thing, we are live, so I assume we're not dead. Give it a sec to matriculate here. According to the thing, we are live, so I assume we're not dead. Oh, Echo, awesome. Give it a sec to matriculate here. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. Love when that happens. All right, hi everybody. Welcome to the Transformers Reviewers Hasbro Pulse Fan Fest 2021 panel. Today I have 5 guests. So we're equal number United States citizens and those of current or former British. What do they call them? I forget what it's called. And a British person. There you go. Don't all speak up at once. Okay.
Sayonara.
Okay, so let's get right into introductions first. So we're going to open up with GotBot here and then go through everybody. Please tell everybody how they can find you and your channel. Please pretend this awkward opening. It never happened. So go ahead, Dennis. Start with you. Tell people how they can find you.
I'm pretty easy. I'm pretty easy to find. If you search up Dennis Moulton or search up GotBot, you'll find me no problem. Certainly here on YouTube. There's my Instagram. I think that is Dennis_Moulton_author. If I'm not mistaken. At Dennis Moulton 1 on Twitter. There's the GotBot Facebook page as well. What else is there? I don't know. Maybe that's it. I don't know. In the link of every video I do, there's a whole bunch of links to a whole bunch of pages that I'm also a mod or an admin of. So I'm a pretty easy dude to find.
Okay, go ahead, Sam.
All right, hey, I'm Sam. I run the channel TF Collector, so naturally you can find me there on YouTube. I also have a Facebook, which is TFMR Collector. I have an Instagram, which is the same thing. You can find me on Twitter, TF Collector, and I think that's about it, right? And then I'm also on the fan sites, Sabertron.com, TFormers.com, and TFW 2005 as Lore Keeper. So that's where you can find me.
I didn't know that you were a Lore Keeper. I just learned something new.
I am Lore Keeper.
Okay, go ahead, Brian.
For better or for worse. Yeah.
Brian might be dead. Oh, no, here he goes. Okay.
Dramatic entrance.
Next on the Brady Bunch.
Hello, Clarice.
Hi.
Yep, and that's Brian's introduction, everybody.
So we're just going to skip over to Bacon then, or
Page 101. My YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Follow me or don't. I don't care. Moving on.
Okay, go ahead, Bacon.
Hey, I'm Bacon. I'm the guy here on TFormers.com. You can pretty much search or look for a tag, TFormers, on most social networks, YouTube, and the internet. Large.
Okay, go ahead, Ugly Wretch.
Hi, I'm the Ugly Wretch. I'm probably the least known guy here, but who cares, frankly. You can find me YouTube, Instagram. There's a Facebook page. Doesn't really matter, but I'm around, so hi.
Okay, I'm being told that my volume on the mic might be a little too high. I did adjust it, but I don't know if I can adjust it live without screwing up my sound, so
A tad. It just
if your ears bleed, I will have a link to
it's like a little Godzilla in your ear, but that's it.
Not.
Try to move it further away. Is this good? How about now?
I don't know. My ears, yeah, it's fine.
Oh, I'm gonna have to find a good, like, can I just mount it here and like, hi everybody. Okay, so
This is going swimmingly well so far.
yeah, it is perfect. We are so on time and everything.
We're definitely professional.
Yep.
And next up on that.
So, for those of you who are wondering, the lazy Eyebrow was scheduled to be here. He had a family issue to deal with, so we brought Brian in because he's just as entertaining and Canadian. So, I'll explain the process for you. We're going to do it's about 90 minutes long. After us at 10 o'clock on Deluxe Baldwin's channel is his interview with Fire Talks. So at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, go check that out. After about 90 minutes, we'll switch to a Q&A format. We have a lot to cover today, so hopefully we don't go too crazy. I don't need another 4.5 hour panel. Thank you, Crimson, but I think 2 hours might be just enough.
Ooh, call out. Ooh, gamer fight.
No, because Crimson and I could talk all night. Let's see. So we're going to do it in this order. It's going to be GotBot, TF Collector, TF Fan Page, TFormers, and Ugly Wretch. For most questions, then I might reverse it on occasion. Our topics for today include the Hasbro financial report and just a whole bunch of reveals, which I will be popping as many as I can on the screen. Oh, poopy. You know what? I can see if I do that. But first, I'm going to go into a first topic. I'll let Dennis vent. And then while he's venting, I will adjust my mic.
I said last night that I'm going to try and say only nice things. Now, a lot of people said that they figured my head will explode doing that. I'm going to try and be nice.
Okay. Well, I don't think that's going to work, but we'll try anyway. Okay, Dennis, give us your thoughts on the Hasbro Q1 2021 financial report. And I'll give you 3 minutes. Do it now while I adjust my mic.
They are full of crap up to their eyeballs. They said that sales were up 40%, which is, I'm sure, true. I ask, why are they up 40%? It's pretty hard to not be up 40% when you absolutely glut the market to the point where fans are saying, slow the hell down because I can't keep up financially. That's a problem. That's a problem when you're pushing fans and collectors to the point where they're saying, I can't keep up. That's an issue that you need to look at in terms of your release. Then they said prices are going up again second half of the year, and they're going up because of materials going up and transportation going up. So I look at you and I say, why in the hell did they go up in 2020? Because they went up here $3. And why did they go up in 2019 by $10? And 2017 by $3 and 2015 by another $1. Look, I don't buy your excuse. It's a pack of crap. It boils down to you're greedy and you're okay being greedy and you want people to be okay with you being greedy.
I mean, there was a report that
$32.99 a deluxe here now. Now, I know that we're one country, but $32.99 a deluxe now. RC was $29.99. In Kingdom, she's $32.99. The difference between the two is instead of a plastic insert, we have a now a cardboard insert. Does that cardboard insert cost another $3? Don't think so. I don't buy them, and I don't trust them, and I don't believe them.
Okay, Sam, go ahead. What's your opinion on the Q1 report here?
As far as the sales being up 40%, now that was, if I remember right, this report was for Hasbro total, right? Not just Transformers. Is that right? So I think I read something about this separately. I think the reason their sales are up so much is because everybody's stuck at home, and I guess they're buying a lot of Nerf guns and stuff, and kids are just bored out of their minds. So toy sales have gone up because the kids aren't getting out and, playing anymore. They're sitting around, shooting each other Nerf guns and stuff. So I think that might be what accounts for a lot of that, despite the fact that the prices are getting ridiculous. And as far as the price increase, I mean, I know that there is some level of material shortage out there, but from what I had seen, it seemed to be mostly concentrated on like precious metals, things like that, right? That's why we're having like a micro transistor shortage. That's killing people. Yeah, lumber too. That's killing people that are trying to get like a PlayStation or a new graphics card. In fact, I need a new graphics card. Like not because I want one, but like really need one, and I can't get one. Like they're all gone, which is just getting ridiculous. And that's going to kind of play into the whole NFT thing later when we talk about that, because that's kind of a part of it. But yeah, I mean, like GotBot said, I think a lot of it is just them blowing smoke, right? I'm sure to some level their expenses have gone up, but they're going to use, they'll get this little bump in their expenses and use that as an excuse to be like, well, I guess we need to bring everything up by like another 10, 20%. Why not?
You've already increased it. As far as I'm concerned, you've already increased it for the expenses.
Oh, yeah. And they're just kind of doing it again now. And it's like, they say like it's due to a shortage. So in theory, when everyone goes back to work, the shortage, the price should go back down, right? But that's not going to happen, right? This is just their excuse to just keep raising it higher. Now deluxes are near 3 times what they used to be, and it's just getting insane. So, yeah, I agree with GotBot. I think it's mostly just BS.
Someone said to me, they said, I guess you're not going to buy food either because that's gone up too. And I said to that fool, because he's a fool, I said, in the last 3 years, has a loaf of bread for you gone up 66%? Because the deluxe Transformers gone up 66% in the last 3 years.
Yep.
Okay, so before I go on to Brian, Motion Blaster asked what price point would be considered fair. Now, there's a whole bunch of different ranges. But I was actually okay with the, 16, 25, 35, and I think that's kind of where most everybody was happy with, because when they raised the price to 20, 30, 40, or 45, 50, that was when they started introducing all these complicated packagings.
Yeah.
So I think they raised their own cost to look better, but all they've done is created a situation where now they can't back down. And well, thank you for telling me my mic sounds better. I keep adjusting it. But anyway,
I would prefer $1, $2, $5, and then $10.
Obviously, right. But going to Brian, what were your thoughts on the Q1 report here?
Well, I thought it was kind of BS too, because I'm not an expert on what goes on behind the scenes, so I don't know specifically about anything going on. But how do you bump up the price constantly when in Canada it was already bumped up $10, and now they're bumping it up again and again? Why are these $3 more? Because we've got an artwork of a tank on here? I've got to throw it out. Anyways, so yeah, I just think it's ridiculous, especially when you see the leaders. I know people argue about the leaders, but how do you get shorter leaders, but yet they go up in price still? Everything's been pretty much normal size, but the leaders, no, we're going to shrink those, and then we're going to also make them more costly at the same time. Shouldn't it just be one, not the other? If they shrunk the leaders and kept them at the normal price, then I'd be like, I'd still be upset by it, but I kind of get it. But they did both, so it just feels kind of ridiculous, especially when you see Galvatron. He looks like a Voyager. He doesn't look like anything more than the Titans Returns one, just a different design.
He's actually shorter than the Voyager. Is that exactly the crazy thing? $20 more, he's shorter.
But and I saw what I was getting at was I saw the price go up, and then I saw a Hasbro employee in some articles say, yeah, we're going to raise the price again. Just because they can. That's pretty much it. Deluxes went to $32 or $33, and Voyagers went to $45 now. They're getting close to $50 now. So for one wave of Voyagers, if you get 2 figures, it's going to be $100. I don't want to start paying that. I know people keep arguing, well, the prices will go up anyways. Yeah, but this quickly and this much now, is it worth it? I mean, the figures are shrinking. We all know this. But people keep telling me this I'm stupid or I'm not realizing something. I've been a Transformers collector for about 15 years, more than 15 years. I've seen, the prices go up. I've seen the figures shrink. This isn't a new concept for me. I don't know why people tell me I'm stupid or I just was born yesterday.
Because they're addicted. That's why.
I believe it's called captive audience.
Try Oreos. Apparently, Oreos are the most addicting thing. So go for that. Buy Oreos.
No, we have Stockholm Syndrome. That's what we have.
We love the abuse. It made again happen.
Thoughts on the Q1 report?
Precious Scourge, don't be mad at me.
Well, I think when you look at their reports, you really got to kind of throw this dark red, blood-soaked curtain over everything. They're really talking to Wall Street through all of this.
Not the fans.
As much as we're like, hey, cool, man, the sales are up, this or that, but they're really, that stock price is everything to them day to day, and most of this is a dog and pony show for the guys on Wall Street to prop up voice, hold up, what is really, if I'll just call it out, they really haven't turned a profit in a long time, and part of that is kind of a long haul investment and trying to reboot themselves as an entertainment company. So, what last year or 2019, they dropped $4 billion on E1. And if I'm going to be really honest, Hasbro has a very long haul history of coming to the game that all of a sudden is the game a little too late with a little too little. And so now they're trying to get into the streaming business like everybody else, right? Hulu and Netflix and gosh, I don't even know who the new guy is. Discovery
Nickelodeon's got one, Paramount Plus, and all that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't blame them because if you're a media company or an entertainment company today, that's something you have to do. So a lot of this is we're paying for them to have that. But I think also part of it is for them to produce all these shows and keep the movies going and things, whether you like them or not. It's part of what Hasbro is now.
Look, I'm just going to say this. I'm not going to buy into it. 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 I'm not going to buy into it.
I think one of the things that a lot of us can look at Marvel and Star Wars and say, hey, what the heck? You know, they got it so good. They get all these things they want. But the Transformers are different. They really can call the shots from the front to the back about how the Transformers are made, how they're presented. They don't have any of this kind of 50-year-old lore and comic background. Well, they do, but it's a different kind of toy, right? Because it transforms, and there's a lot of different ways they have to present that to us. And I think what's interesting is they're trying to give us these non-transforming toys all of a sudden. Anyways, I think the very long and short of my response is we're paying for E1. They're trying to get this E1 thing off the ground, and they got 4 movies going, and what is it, 3, 4 cartoons going, and so
yeah, there's like a plot thing.
For me, I've been a fan a long time, and in 2005, if you told me all of this stuff was going to be here by 2020, I would have just laughed in your face. I would have never believed the Transformers would be this big and a Hollywood thing and all that, even though I'm not really a fan at all of the Hollywood stuff. It's tolerable, but it keeps the plane in the air, right?
Yeah.
I'll just say, because I forgot about it, exclusives, you know, people are annoyed by exclusives, but like they work with the stores to produce that, and I'm pretty sure the stores also pay a pretty penny for that to go on. So if we didn't have exclusives, I feel like the price would go even higher than what they are now.
Okay. So, what, Bacon?
It's kind of a mysterious thing about how the exclusives work. I don't think it's as well understood as people think.
No.
Okay, so we have a new person to doing these panels. It's Ugly Wretch here. One interesting fact about Ugly Wretch is he's in the future. He knows what's going to happen tomorrow.
All right.
Can you help
It's like 1 in the morning. So.
Are we still alive tomorrow? It's like 2 o'clock in the morning where you are. Are we still there?
Which horse am I betting on?
Well, the UK's fine, but America has plunged into complete anarchy. It's all on fire. You're all dead. Sorry.
Whoa.
Oh, that already
It's
happened.
Future, not now.
Except for
We're
Canadians,
already
you're
there.
fine.
Okay, so Ugly Wretch, what is your thought on the Q1 report? Did you read it?
I know nothing about numbers. I'm listening to what you guys are saying, and I can come up with a couple of ideas. Like, I work in a warehouse that dispatches things people bought online, that kind of stuff. Not as exciting as Amazon, trust me. But at one point this year, we actually had a cardboard shortage, believe it or not.
Ooh.
So stupid things like that. I mean, Hasbro also made like board games. People are stuck at home for a year. They're gonna be buying like board games, Monopoly, that kind of stuff. So you got to take all these kind of things into consideration. So yeah, I could kind of see them getting a lot of sales through that, simply through the board games because they sell a lot of them. Although I've always got the knockoffs because that's how cheap I am. But then you look at the price points, and you guys are saying like, what was it, $30-something in Canada or America for like a deluxe?
$32.99.
It's about 22 here in the U.S. right now.
Over here, I've seen them. Granted, it's only online. They've been about, for a deluxe, it's been about £18, which is probably around the $20-ish mark. But I don't live anywhere near any shops that sell them, so I'd still have to pay postage. So it's probably going to work out about the same anyway. So
That's a really good point.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of those we've got very limited like mass retail over here at the minute. There's only like a handful of shops that do them, and they aren't as widespread as like your Walmarts and stuff. So
Okay, so you're in the UK. They do have a Hasbro Pulse there, right?
Now,
I believe so.
Oh, because I was like,
but
what type of experience have you had with it? Because this is where I go after you. I'm going to go to Brian, and he's had no positive experiences with Hasbro Pulse. So I'm wondering if, because in the United States, 2-day shipping, and I'm good. But is the UK like Canada in the situation where you guys just don't get product at all? If that, if even timely.
Yeah, generally speaking, we are massively behind. I think there was one point where we actually got stuff ahead of everyone else, but I think it was just like the first wave of one thing, and everything else is just like we're about 3 waves behind. So, I mean, the Hasbro Pulse, we might be able to get stuff around the time it's released, but you're paying through the nose for it. So, if you're poor like me, you ain't getting it. So,
Well, Brian's away, so I'm going to go to Dennis here. Your experience with Hasbro Pulse, because Brian posted a video a few days ago, and I was confused about what he was posting, but then you did some research for me, and you confirmed that Hasbro Pulse promises free shipping at over a certain amount, but if you're in Canada, that just does not happen.
I can't speak for everywhere in Canada. I can only speak for where I am on the East Coast. And what I did is I do like the shattered glass, and luckily I have somebody who has helped to secure Blur and Super Megatron, because they don't really ship here. So I chose a address as close to here as I could get in Nova Scotia, and I put 2 Blurs in the cart and the shipping by FedEx, because that's the only option. And don't get me wrong, FedEx, they do a great job. They have a great service, at least here at least in my neck of the woods of Canada, but it's premium, and you pay premium for it. The shipping to here for 2 Blur was $48 US. Now, we haven't done customs yet either. $48 US. Now, comparatively, to go through USPS/Canada Post, Jay Holla, who a lot of us here know, sent me the Netflix Cheetor. That cost, coming from like New York, New Jersey-ish area, I think New York, $14. That's an atrocious difference. I'm not saying don't have FedEx as an option, but it should not be your only option. And when I put 2 Blur in there, the page came up that said, you are there for, free shipping or whatever. And when I went to the next page, the $48 was there.
Okay, so Brian, we talked about this a little bit in your video. because I couldn't understand what you were coming to, but Dennis solved it for me. But 3 minutes, rant about your experience with Hasbro Pulse.
Boo!
It shouldn't even exist.
Succinct.
I hate it. I hate the fact that they have exclusives only on Hasbro Pulse. I hate the fact that you can get free shipping on this, and then you go through the cart thing, and nope, you don't get free shipping because they only have one shipping method, and that's it. I like, and people just tell me, oh, buy from TF Stores or Big Bad Toy Store. It's going to be the same thing with the shipping, Big Bad Toy Store to get something shipped to you. Not only that, like. You're seeing USD, and even when I put it in the cart, you're seeing USD. So that transfers to Canadian. I put in the blur, and it's like $35, and it's going to turn to. It said $60, but it's going to turn to about $70 for a deluxe class figure. Like, I really do want it, Hasbro. I honestly do. But if you're not going to put it on EB Games or have something better for Canada, where we don't have to go through just one shipping method, and that's FedEx. Go away. I hate Hasbro Pulse. Like, I genuinely hate Hasbro Pulse because they're like so into it right now, that they're so pushing it, that they just neglect so many other people, so many countries. And it's already hard to get certain Transformers nowadays. Like, it is so
difficult. They're a friggin' distributor. Not distributor, manufacturer.
I never found this way at all. Any of the figures.
Stop trying to nose in on retail. You're the manufacturer. Stick to your lane. Leave the retail to retailers.
Okay, so Sam and Bacon, you're both in the United States, right?
I'll just say this: I'm so glad someone's helping me with Shattered Glass Megatron. I don't know about Blur right now, but Megatron, yay!
Yeah.
Okay, so starting with Bacon, are you a premium member, or do you just get the 7 to 10 day shipping?
I was. I tried so hard to like it and wanted and be happy with it. I don't know. Boy, I could go on a really bad tirade here, but this is. I can't put the screws to them, so I'm speculating here, but. This is actually part of a trend with a lot of corporations now called scarcity marketing. I invite you to go and type this into Google and do a search. And this is a form of marketing that really capitalizes on the power of social networking. For people to network and have things and collect things in almost a competitive fashion. We all probably are familiar with this. And if you go and you look at one of these kind of quote unquote marketing guides to scarcity marketing, you can go down the checklist with Hasbro Pulse. There's a club, there's limited editions, there's limited time exclusives, there's exclusive items, there are special items that can only be had between special times before other art people. And then the really big checkbox on the scarcity marketing things is things sell out very quickly and you cannot have them. So there's kind of a catch and cannot have kind of game here with cat and mouse, where they actually want you to be upset. They want you to be worried that the next time the other waves of this is scarcity marketing lingo here. I can't accuse Hasbro of using this formally because I don't know for a fact, but if you go down and look at one of these guides, check off all the check marks of how scarcity marketing works, and they're doing it. So
you can't get thrust and runabout out here,
right? Fear of missing out. The next time that thing comes out, you're going to rush and
You're going to alienate
try
people
to get it any way you can because you must have it. Because last time you couldn't have it.
You can't get thrust and runabout out here. Like, it's on ToysRUs.ca listed, but it's out of stock. And then you go to see if it's in store because it's in store only, and it's probably not in your store.
You guys
hard to argue is that
lucky Spencer.
So well for Funko. Funko is so popular and powerful now because of scarcity marketing. And how could you be another toy company right now not looking at Funko not being jealous of the rabid, insane followings that they have there. This is what we're getting. We're getting, again, I'm sorry, Hasbro, but you're too late to the game. You didn't get it right, and you're a day late and $1 short, and now you're trying to copy Funko, and you're doing it wrong.
You know what's funny? Brian just said that Runabout and Thrust here are pretty much negligible. Here's the other thing. That also means that people in other countries are taking away stock from the U.S. I had 2 Thrusts show up that I was able to source through someone. One was for a buddy of mine who bought it, and one was for me. They both came from Target in the U.S., not Toys R Us. So somebody that's not even in the U.S. has 2 of that stock because Hasbro refuses to sell it properly. So
that's where my first Thrust went.
When people in the U.S. are complaining and saying, I can't find it, blame Hasbro because they claim to be a global corporation and they're not operating at a global capacity. Dare I mention, because this enrages me, that Amazon exclusive cone heads. And when the question was squarely asked to them about why nobody in Canada at all has it, it is an Amazon exclusive that has not come in on the site at all. Their answer was, we didn't know there was a problem. Are you idiots?
Like, they go into forums and know exactly what Transformers we want. They go into the forums. They even said that. Oh, we go onto the forums. We go onto the website. We hear what you guys want. How do you miss this?
They apparently watch videos.
I think the most difficult thing for Hasbro is not the toys that sell out too fast, but the toys that don't sell at all. All of that, buzzworthy Bumblebee and the stuff that the majority of the toys we see rotting all the time. That's what they're panicking over. What the heck? This stuff is garbage. We cannot get rid of this. We have all this money tied up into this. It's going to come back from retail at some discount. I'm sure.
We'll pass those costs on to the customers.
Oh, God, I will say in their defense, Mega Constructs had Mega Constructs had a very similar problem with putting things in stock. If you're a Halo fan and you tried to get any of the sets for like 2 years, they couldn't get it, or people couldn't get it. And what they actually said was it's mostly the stores like Walmart and Target were just not getting them, or not getting them because that sounds like it's Mega's fault, but none of the retailers were buying into it nowadays because people were just not as interested as
I think it's the buzzworthy stuff and the stuff that rots. If you're a buyer for Target, you're not micro-analyzing, wow, that thrust went in 3 seconds, but man, all that other Transformer stuff, it's kind of...
But, if you want all the Cyberverse in the world...
I'm going a little bit to bat for Hasbro here. I think they'd love to hit home runs and have everything blow out instantly. That would be great for them. But probably the other 3/4 of what they put out ends up at Ross and places like that, or some of it.
Okay, so Sam, are you a Pulse Premium member? And where you are, do you get product from them efficiently, or how does that work for you?
I am a premium member currently. So I typically, when they reveal stuff and put up a pre-order, I'll pre-order through them. But if it's something that's usually available, at wider retail, Pulse is almost always like the last people to get stuff in stock. I mean, even here in the US, you'll get it. You will get it and you'll get the free shipping and all that. But they're very, very slow at actually providing that stock, which I always found weird because they're supposed to be the source for collectors, right? The direct buy. And I'll find that stuff in the stores months before Pulse gets it in. So I usually end up canceling a lot of my pre-orders. So it definitely makes that premium membership not nearly as worth it because I end up canceling most of my orders. I mean, it's useful for, the exclusives, right? The Shattered Glass stuff, the selects, things that you can't easily find elsewhere. But what I've been finding is things will either turn up on Walmart or Target shelves way sooner, or there's a Canadian-based website called CMD Store. You guys probably heard of it.
Yeah, no one will stop telling me about it.
Yeah.
Well, he built his whole business on scamming and scalping people, so.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He still does.
Well,
You go on Walmart.ca, you go on Amazon.ca, and you see stuff that, oh, you know what, you can't get it anywhere, and you'll see that is double the price, at least if not triple, and you'll go in and guaranteed at CMD's store. It's been like that since I started seeing it around 2015, 2016. Now, can people change? Yes, people can, and I hear that on their direct site that things are more improved. However, as a Canadian who has seen this for years and seen the way it worked for years, it bothers me that so many people are buying into it now. I think he has to prove a lot more as a legitimate business before I can forgive the bad business that left that bad taste in my mouth.
And this is brought to you by CMD Store.
It's only going to be, look, your deluxe is only going to be $85.
Yeah. So I didn't know about that whole history.
A lot of people don't.
Yeah. As far as what I know of currently, because somebody had recommended to me in like a Discord a little while back. Yeah, they tend to sell at a little bit of a markup, nothing crazy, something along the lines of what you'd see at like TFSource or BBTS. What kills me is the shipping. The shipping, because it's going from pretty close to like the Canada-New York border, from what I can tell. To me, I mean, the shipping tax a huge chunk on it. The trade-off is that stuff gets to me way, way sooner than it would if I was just waiting around here, for U.S. stock to come in. So whatever he's got set up, he's getting stuff way sooner. I've used him a bit. The downside is, like with that website, as far as I know, you can't cancel a pre-order. Like once you pre-order, it's locked in. So if I end up regretting that because maybe, it's too much or he's slow getting something in, then I'm kind of stuck with it. So that's kind of a deal with the devil kind of thing. So like with these new reveals that I know we're going to talk on a bit more, he's got all that like Wave 3 stuff up. He's got the Titan class up. But I don't know if I could spend that extra money to get it sooner because I'm not rich. Like it's kind of getting by. But yeah, as far I wanted to answer Kara Brickbot. So no, my answers have never been canceled like without my permission. I've canceled a lot of pre-orders just because they'd show up at my local Walmart or Target and I just wouldn't need it from Pulse anymore because they're just way slow. That's what I meant by that.
Yeah, I can pretty much second that. That was my experience too. It's why I actually didn't renew premium. It's like, I mean, I got my deep cover later than anybody else. That I was real mad about that. I was like, I'm not renewing. Bye.
Yeah, I do like what they're doing now about the whole partner exclusives, where they're carrying some stock from your Walmart, Target exclusives, things like that. That's how I got my Cheetor, which was supposed to get here today, but FedEx is not nearly as reliable here as it apparently is in Canada. Because it's always, for me, it's like, hey, it's going to get here today. Well, actually, we don't know when. Actually, what package? What's a package? Like, it gets here when it gets here.
Yeah, it takes forever for me too. 10, 12 days sometimes.
Yeah, FedEx is terrible around here. But, yeah, it is good that you can, because my local Walmart hasn't even stocked the Wave 3 stuff at all. Or if it has, somebody's probably skimming it before it ever hits the shelves. I can think of one particular employee that might be. But yeah, so I mean, it's good for that. It's useful. I don't know. Do they offer that on the Canadian side of things or the UK side of things? The partner exclusives? Do they have all that stuff? No,
Nope.
It's must be a US thing. Now, if they can ever get their stuff together and get their operations running in Canada and the UK and other countries as well as they do here, I think it'll be less infuriating for the rest of the world. I mean, they're still not great. They still take forever to get stuff in. Like somebody's saying, they are a third-party shipper. So. Yeah.
Europe and Canada has always been kind of doubt. I think it's probably better than in a long time. You guys still have Toys R Us. That I feel like America is kind of hobbling along more and more.
Toys R Us, though, is grossly behind. Like, my Toys R Us right now has, I don't think, any of the buzzworthy stuff at all. think there's one Primal. They did get 1 liter Megatron. And I think that they got a box of Wave 1 Kingdom, while they also got I'm going to say maybe 2 cases of Wave 3 Earthrise. If you want to get stuff, you might be able to get it there, but like you're not going to get any of your new stuff at Toys R Us. Just not happening.
Right.
We have Walmart and sometimes now EB Games. That's it.
Go ahead, Sam.
I was going to say Hong Kong is apparently the place to be. I always see pictures like, Toys R Us or this store in Hong Kong, and you look and it's like beautifully stocked shelves, and they got tons of everything. I'm like, what are they doing over there? Well, where they're just getting all the stock
too. So
yeah, I get there closer, but boy, they just get loaded with stuff. I saw a whole long aisle that was just Transformers, and like here you get a section. You get like a 5-foot section of an aisle that's Transformers, and it's mostly empty.
So more and more feels like a sliver. My targets are like what, 3 or 4 J cards wide. That's it.
Yeah. I've actually encountered a few Walmarts that just don't even carry Transformers anymore. You go to the toy section, you're going in circles trying to find it. You realize like they don't have a Transformers section. That's like sacrilege to me. I leave feeling actually like insulted.
I'm
actually angry.
Power Rangers taking over more, getting a wider slice than Transformers lately.
I blame Hasbro. Ever since I took over Power Rangers.
Baby.
Okay, so real quick, because I've been asked, you heard of Hasbro wanted to do NFTs. Is my volume any better? Is it because I changed things up?
It's a bit better.
Okay, cool. So non-fungible tokens or non-fungible transfers is virtual items that you don't physically actually own. And because somebody earlier this year purchased the first NFT for over $100,000, there is now an artificial market, just like with cryptocurrency, where it is inflated based on supply because it's a new thing. So essentially what Hasbro said in their financial report was they're going to release images or virtual products that you can technically own, but only as long as the server which hosts them is still up. That means like they'll keep the server up for 5, 10 years, whatever, but once the server is down, that's it. And when you buy them, they give you a minimal guaranteed maybe 2 years that you actually have access to the video, to the image, or whatever. It is dumb, but basically they are borrowing a little bit from the video game industry, where you purchase a game and you get online access for that game, and you pay a fee maybe to do certain extra things, but you only get that stuff for a certain amount of time. Think of something along the lines of the Marvel Spider-Man game where you bought DLC. Technically, they can close the servers at any time, and you lose access to that. That is pretty much what an NFT is. So we're going to move on to the reveals. And the first one I have here is the big boy. See if I can pop it up. There we go. Whew. He is a big boy. So this is Transformers Generation Selects Titan Black Zarek, going for $160, and he's still available for pre-order. And I'm going to start with Ugly Wretch. Are you getting this? And any thoughts on it? Because obviously it's a modified Scorponok.
No, honestly, I've watched bits of like the Victory and the Headmasters and all that kind of stuff, and the repaints are strong with that one. I've got much more attachment to Scorponok. If I was going to get one, I'd get Scorponok. I don't like the scheme. I don't like the extra bits just to try and make it look different. If I was going to get one, I'd get Scorponok. Simple as that.
Okay, Bacon, thoughts on the Zarek here?
Oh, that was an instant buy for me. The original Black Zarek Takara issue has been something I've wanted for many years, and it's unaffordable now. So this is great. This is actually probably much nicer.
Okay, Brian's on a break, so we'll go to Sam. What are you thinking about this guy here? Is he a buy?
Oh yeah, I got him on pre-order. I know he's just mostly a recolored Scorponok, but again, the whole prestige, the appeal of having a black Xeric when the original is so incredibly hard to find, plus very likely to fall apart on you. And I got to say, I'm impressed with the retooling that they did do on the head. It came together really well. I'm also just a sucker for a black and gold color scheme, and I really like that he's got the actual Tyrant Spear, because the modulator type Tyrant Spear of Fast Track and Rorichi, it's just terrible. It's a floppy mess. It doesn't do the job. So I'm okay with them giving him the actual spear this time. So yeah, I'm all for it.
Okay, Dennis, thoughts on this big guy here?
Okay, so first thing, I'm gonna mention this about the NFT thing. That's the most idiotic idea for business I've ever heard in my life. And anybody who spends even 1 penny on it is a fool. And I stand by that. You are a sucker who deserves to lose your money. Now, about Scorponok, truth is what truth is. That's not me being mean. That's just me being truthful. Scorponok here. So I wasn't gonna, because he's far too big for the actual character. Because the actual character on the show isn't a Titan. But I also looked at the price, and much like I've said with even the Arc, I think the U.S. price is more reasonable than the Canadian price, because some places have them for $229. One spot has it for $249. I'm not in it for that. However, I have been able to secure a pre-order for kind of significantly cheaper, and I was like, you know what? It's a no money down pre-order. I think I'll do it for now. I don't think this guy comes out till like December. I like the idea of him. I almost wish he was a commander class, to be honest with you. But for now, yeah, I like the Scorponok mold. I would probably use him as my version of Devil Z. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it for now.
Okay, so stay with you, Dennis. What about this bed mamma jamma right here, the Arc?
The Arc, kind of in conjunction a little bit with Scorponok there. Now, this guy is only retailing for $249. A couple of spots have him on sale for $229. I don't think he's worth the Canadian price, because by the time you put taxes in that now, it is a lot. Like, you're talking 3 bills. And I think if you do the exchange rate is not close to $249. I think the U.S. price is reasonable for it, but I don't think you have the wiggle room, Hasbro, to go up in the price here, because this is definitely the most simple of the Titans and the most hollow. They showed him going around the back of those arms and those legs, mighty hollow. I like it, but I only think it's worth the U.S. price, not the Canadian price. I have had someone reach out to me and have it secured more U.S. price-ish, actually kind of around that ballpark, significantly cheaper than Canada. So I do have a pre-order there, because I basically have the U.S. price.
Okay, so Sam, thoughts on this guy?
I pretty much like everything about it except the gaping holes on the side of the ship mode. To me, it's so unforgivable. You got a $160 figure. He's already one of the smallest Titans. And like Dennis said, right, he's got some hollowness. He's fairly simple, right? He's not on the level of like Scorponok or anything. And yeah, I mean, if they're going to make us buy him, how they thought that was okay to just leave these huge holes in the side of the ship, when like a panel or 2 split panels would have easily just kind of covered that up and then folded back. And I mean, that can't be out of budget, because again, this guy's not big, right? He's going to be dwarfed by most of the city bots. So aside from that, I really dig it. I love the mainframe thing. I hope that they give us like an actual G1 colored mainframe and selects or something for those that just want that character. But I think it's a really neat touch that he is mainframe and he's the ship's computer too. I think it's neat. I'm annoyed about the Optimus that comes with it, because that was one of the little selling points for that accessory pack, right? Is they had the Optimus slug figure,
Very
and yeah, and now they're just doing that one again.
Hasbro Pulse, damn you! That's one of the reasons I hung on and they never did.
Right? And it sucks too, because like that one's way better, right? It's actually red instead of just gray for some reason. So I guess the gray one's just dead Optimus. Oh. But you know, overall, I think it's good. I wish that they didn't look at us with a straight face and be like, "This is fine. Ignore the holes. There's no holes here." Like, come on.
Beacon, was this an instant buy for you?
I'm kind of disappointed. I, for whatever reason, expected that there would be a base mode, and the whole reason for their the scout class was going to be that we would have a way to, you know, this thing would somehow crack in half, and you know, it wouldn't have a top or anything. It would be mostly a floor with little sides for them to all stand, your little scouts in there, and it seemed like we were being set up for that. But so I think it's an opportunity missed, because when you get to the robot mode, it's, no pun intended, well, maybe a pun intended, it looks like a giant scout class toy, right? You know, you have a little tiny little toy that generally doesn't have a lot of features. It gets kind of just broken up into a big robot, and it's not so special because it's a tiny toy, but that's what they did with a big toy. And I agree. There should have been, very easily could have been a little panel that slipped out, and they've been so good in this series with having panels that fold in half and half again, so they could have it kind of be so thin and just cover those things up. But you know, they're kind of out of Titans to do. From here, I guess after they finished the last Titan, they're going to have to start making new ones somehow, and this is the first of the new ones.
Okay, so Ugly Wretch, are you getting the big guy?
I was just thinking about that. You know what he reminds me of? Do you remember the film Big with Tom Hanks?
Mm-hmm.
You know, on the plane with the Empire State Building that's a robot?
Oh, yeah.
And he's just looking at it like, why would anyone want this? It's like, why have you taken the Ark and just forced it into a robot mode? It doesn't look right to me. I don't know, it seems like someone's just been like, okay, let's just pick something and try and mash a robot out of it.
Yeah.
They have to keep the Autobot Titans and the Decepticon Titans equal numbered?
Yeah, but this is one thing that always bugged me with animated. Aren't the Autobots more heroic if they're fighting overwhelming numbers rather than outnumbering the Decepticons horribly? One thing that always bugged me, if they've got the same or more, because the good guys usually sell better, they're not really heroic, are they? They outnumber them. So it's just something that bugs me.
Okay, so staying with you, Ugly Wretch, we're going to go on to the next item, and it is this guy right here. So, what are your thoughts on this Rodimus Prime?
It seems like a lot of trouble just to give him the trailer, and the individual Rodimus on his own looks really chunky and weird. Like I had the G1 Rodimus downstairs somewhere, and that's fine, although you can't use the cab on its own. But I don't know. It's if they'd made a cab for like the Studio Series or something, I think they'd have got away with it better than this, because the hot rod that comes with this really doesn't look good.
Okay. As I'm handling this, hey, Bacon, thoughts on Rodimus Prime?
Well, I think, you know, when you look at kind of their predicament, they have always been stuck between a hot rod and a masterpiece, right? So I just look at this thing and I see them in the office arguing over, well, we can't add too much because then the masterpiece won't be a masterpiece. So we got to take this off and put that on. And so I think, you know, really and this goes back kind of earlier to the earnings report where we've had a lot of issues with them scaling things down and classing them up. And this is kind of, I think, almost one of the worst examples of how the War for Cybertron has bastardized the definition of the class and scale. And so They're kind of really. This is, I think, maybe the worst toy yet in War for Cybertron, where they've tried to upclass a toy into something it really isn't. So I don't know. I feel like I don't need it. I agree with Ugly Wretch. I would rather have my little G1 diecast hot rod or the new one from Studio Series. And then if I was going to spend $80 on that, I'd probably just go all out and get the Masterpiece instead, which also kind of has a lot of issues as well. So I didn't get it.
Okay, Sam.
I think he's a very nice leader class figure, and he will go very well with that very nice Voyager class Galvatron that they're selling us for $50. And I know, like, on the forums, I mean, it's constant back and forth, the debate of price, right? People are always fighting over that. And they're like, oh, well, if he was a leader class, this trailer would be as bad as Optimus's. I'm like, we agree that's a problem, though, right? Like, nobody was satisfied with what we got for $50 with Optimus, right? We got a Voyager, like very small Voyager, and a box, an empty hollow trailer. Like, nobody was good with that, and you're now accepting that as the new standard. Like, this is $50 now. And then when we get something that really should be about $50, they're like, no, that's clearly an $80 toy. I'm like, it's clearly not. I mean, I could pull out my Revenge of the Fallen Leader Optimus Prime that was like $40, and it just blows that thing out of the water. And it's an old toy. It's from 2009. I think it's like the slow boil, right? You put the frog in the pot, turn the heat up little by little. They're just slowly seeing what they can get away with and what they can charge us for things before the nostalgia can no longer support the bridge and it all just collapses. Because that's right. Like, they're doing it because they know people want a proper Rodimus Prime. That's the only reason they're trying to get away with this. And I will say, price aside, I mean, I think it's a good figure. I'm really confused by some of the style choices. Like, a lot of people point out his cab section looks a lot more like Hot Rod's car than it does Rodimus's cab section. Like, a lot of the design cues are off. That doesn't make any sense why they did that, because I don't see any reason it had to be that way. Like, the dome and the hood are way off, and I mean, could have just as easily been accurate. So I'm not sure why they made that choice. I'm still going to buy it, and I'm going to make a review, and I'm going to complain about the $30 upcharge the whole time. And, people still continue to debate this one, but yeah, this is what we have now, I guess.
Okay, so Dennis, thoughts on Rodimus Prime?
I have a shirt in my merch store that says not a Voyager, because Studio Series Hot Rod on no planet is a Voyager.
Agreed.
Nothing about it is special. Nothing about it is amazing. Nothing about it is anything more than a deluxe. And I like when people yell at me about it and they'll say, yeah, but he's not as good as Jazz. Yes, that's right. He's as good as Jazz, who's a deluxe. But that's not what they charge. What they did is they took advantage of you as a consumer, and they're trying to give you a new valuation that says what we've had as a Voyager at about 145. If you hear a squeak, that's my dog. 145 to 165 grams of plastic. They're trying to tell you now, no. A Voyager from now on will be 77 grams of plastic. Do you buy it? Then we get to Rodimus. He's not a commander. I keep hoping he will be a commander. And people are like, yeah, but his trailer has pistons. So what? They also didn't care enough to paint the tires. If you look, they're just bald and gray. Here's the thing. You have now established a value for consumers that a commander class is as good as Jetfire and Skylinks. Is this going to be as good? If it's not, then they're trying to give you a lower valuation, and they're trying to sell you, as was just said by Ugly Wretch, I believe. Was it Ugly Wretch? No, I think it was Sam who said it. He's going to be a nice Voyager that they're going to try and sell to you as commander. Are you buying that new valuation?
Okay, so staying with you, Dennis, thoughts on this guy here?
I don't know. Here's the thing. Do I think he's better than Titan's Return? Yes. But I also own the Mania King Vintage Edition. So is this guy going to be better than that? I don't know. I think he's a nice Voyager being sold as a leader. The only thing I'm hoping is that, as is the case with Ultra Magnus, the chunk and mass is there internally that you'll say, yeah, okay, so he's not as tall, but he does have the proper mass that he's supposed to have as a leader. Ultra Magnus, not as tall as Combiner Wars, but he actually has more mass than the Combiner Wars. So he's in line with the value we've known. Will this Galvatron have enough mass that he's in line with what he should be? We'll have to wait and see.
Sam, are you getting the Galvatron?
I mean, I'm a fool who's easily part with his money, so I mean, yeah, I'm getting it. There's very few things I don't get. Like pretty much Masterpiece is all I'm priced out of at this point. So I am going to get it, especially because I want to, do the review and all that. But again, it's pretty reluctantly. I don't think there's enough of an improvement over the TR Megatron, aside from the obvious head problem. But we all know that's an issue with it. To warrant the $20 upcharge, I think it's just insane. And there are things about the TR Galvatron that I actually like more. This guy's cannon mode, I think, looks terrible. It's like a disjointed mess. It's like a scrap heap with a cannon barrel sticking off the front. I mean, it looks worse than the G1, which I actually got, and I keep meaning to review, but I'm so far behind. It's just look at that. It's so messy looking, so cobbled together. The cannon mode on the Titans Return toy actually looks pretty solid. Plus, it gets the spaceship or gun mode, which is one, as far as I know, officially doesn't have. I know some people have kind of done their own fan mode with it, but you're getting a lot less here. Like the Titans Return toy, if they just had tweaked that, right, given it a proper working head, aside from that stupid gimmick one, and like given like wrist articulation, things like that, that'd be a perfectly serviceable Galvatron toy. But I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna get it. Maybe I'll be more impressed with it when I get it in hand. Sometimes, you do like something more once you get it. Sometimes you're disappointed. We'll just have to wait and see.
Okay, so Bacon, Galvatron.
Well, first of all, if you really prefer the G1 colors, you can almost bet your ass they're going to do that. So, to me, this is the pre-paint. This is the figure they're getting everyone revved up for because it's the first one. They kind of did that with all of War for Cybertron, right? Mm-hmm. They gave us the Ultra Magnus in 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 versions, Megatron in like 20 versions, before you got just that one right color that you wanted or configuration. I mean, that last final Netflix Megatron was the one I want. But
yep.
Like, dang you! I got 8 of those things. So, I waited for the Black Zorak, and I'm glad I did. Anyways, I think, it's a good toy. I think TF Collector is right. They loaded on too much with the guns and everything, and I think there's kind of this approach with War for Cybertron, and maybe we don't understand it because we're older and accuracy means more to us, but I think they're trying to add this kind of expanded play pattern to the War for Cybertron that kids appreciate more, with mini-cons and smaller bots that connect to each other and little things that are kind of separate, like a little spaceship and stuff like that. So, that's always a factor with the Transformers. But I think in general, this is maybe a step up, and it suffers from the same scale up price issues, but I do like it, and I'll get the G1 colors if and when they make it.
The G1 colors are being done select.
That's what I was exactly about to say.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'll throw out, if you look at that leak list, they're going to reissue the G1 Galvatron mold again.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that one.
Big list from Amazon.
Oh yeah,
that came out. Amazon Australia. It's on there.
I just dropped $100 on the G1 toy. Damn it!
Oh no.
Okay,
I should have waited.
Oh, no.
So Brian, welcome back.
The reissue will be probably,
Yeah.
So Brian, thoughts on this guy here? Are you getting him?
He's purple and I want him. You already heard me about the leader price point, but just ignoring that for right now, I really like how it came together, especially with the cylindrical piece. It's like a drum is in his torso. There is a way to fix his shoulders, so that's nice. Very simple little thing. I like the transparent cannon. I like the fade to the paint. I think the Matrix is cool, and then also the guns being a reference to the Revenge is nice. I have the Studio Series 86 Scourge. I have the Kingdom Cyclonus. I think they need his leader because Titans Returns 1 ain't doing it for me, and hasn't been for a while. But it's funny how with Galvatron, he's always like not in the right class for him because the original Generations and Universe and Classics Galvatron was that Universe Classics tank. That was a deluxe class. Now I imagine it's to go with the hot rod, but how do you go from a Voyager Megatron to a deluxe Galvatron? It's kind of funny how that worked. And then Titans Returns came out, and that was a Voyager. But before then, we had a Leader Megatron from the Combiner Wars. Obviously, they eventually made a Megatron that was Voyager, but still, it was kind of off. Plus, also, you had the Power Master Optimus Prime that came out in the same wave. So, I mean, people can argue continuity, but Optimus Prime, Galvatron, it's kind of weird. Although the best thing I could say is Titans Returns Hot Rod. Although they also did Power of the Primes Rodimus. So, yeah, again, it was kind of weird how that worked. So now having a Galvatron in leader class, it feels right. Especially with the Optimus being about the Voyager height, and with the classes, they don't really mean much with the size of the figures anymore. I imagine that Rodimus Prime coming out is not going to be much taller, if anything, compared to the Galvatron coming out. Looks cool. I wish it came with more, though. Blast effects would be nice, at least. But it's a good-looking Galvatron. Doesn't look like a leader, but it looks like Galvatron.
Okay, Ugly Wretch. Thoughts on Galvatron?
The robot mode looks very pretty. The shoulders are a bit weirdly proportioned, but he looks very, very pretty. But that cannon mode just looks awful. Like, really bad. I don't know why they've given him the guns based on the little spaceship that Unicron gives him. But, well, that's what they look like to me. But he really doesn't look right. I mean, I've got the Titans Return. I've got a couple of shapeways bits. I've got a new helmet for it. I've got the adapters to put the cannon on the side. That one will do for me for now. If I see that one going cheap, maybe. But I don't know. I'm not in love with it at the minute. Maybe I'll see even better reviews. I don't know.
Okay, so while I have you, I'm going to pull up something here and see if it'll... There we go. So, general opinion on... Oh, let's see if I can find it. Oh, no, they're not here. They must have sold out. Okay, so I'm going to list some off here. Kingdom Voyager Rhinox, Deluxe Scorponok, Deluxe Wingfinger, Deluxe Trek, Core Dracodon, and Core Soundwave. Any of them stand out to you? Any of them like, oh, heck no, or any of them, yes? I mean, forget about the UK method of receiving product. If you, in the world of imagination, which ones are definitely buys and which ones are passes?
Scorponok. Gotta have Scorponok. Love it to bits. I kind of wish he had the missiles in both hands rather than the Cyber Bee. I know he had it in the show. But Scorponok's awesome. The Rhinox, I don't know what they're going with that. I don't know if it's just more simpler than the Thrilling 30s version, but I don't know why we need another Rhinox, because Thrilling 30s was pretty much perfect.
I think it's just to go in the line. I mean, that Rhinox came out, 2014? So yeah, it's been quite a while for Rhinox.
Oh, good.
It's like, could I zoom in on this? No. Okay. Because I guess I'll go to Bacon next. Thoughts on Rhinox, Scorponok, Wingfinger, Tracks, Dracodon, Soundwave, passes, and buys?
Well, for me, all of the Beast Wars ones are instant buy. I think they've done a great job updating them overall. So the Scorponok was a must-have. The Rhinox, and I picked up the tracks. For me, the fossilizers are kind of something that I like, the ones that I played with, but I don't feel a need to go and like stock up on, buy everyone and build that strange, what the fuckamus thing that they made with the combiner. I guess that's a play pattern that they built it for kids. So I do like having a couple of sets, but I don't feel like I need all 5 of them. But otherwise, yes, the Rhinox I think is great. True, we did get the Thrilling 30, and that's it's a little difficult to find now. So I'm glad we'll get this. You'll probably pay more for the Thrilling 30 than this Rhinox at this point. And the Scorponok has some issues. I think the colors are a little garish, even though they're the right one, kind of closer to the show. Somewhere I think they missed the mark with that.
If you want to watch,
children, hide your collection.
The mini box are out. But I like this. I think he's a little stocky looking, and in some ways the head is a little bit off. It's almost a little too big for the body, but yeah, I ordered it. The Scouts, core guys, not picking those up yet.
Okay. Brian, Rhinox, Scorponok, Wingfinger tracks, Dracodon, Soundwave, thoughts?
Well, I'll just say this. It's a good thing you're not really considering the core class figures out right now because they're not on pre-order right now. Anyways.
I do like them, though. I think they're really good.
I love the neon green.
Tracks is awesome. I got the tracks, too. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, geez. We should get a core class blaster to go with tracks.
You probably will.
I want to get all of them just because I do. Of course, we can't forget the Kingdom Wheeljack, obviously the best one of the wave, that they didn't even promote or have a pre-order for.
3 Wheeljacks, 4 Wheeljacks.
I do kind of like the idea of the Wingfinger, and I like that it's a maximal this time. People keep telling me, oh, well, what about the combiner? I could tell that was just them messing around with it. It's not like an official combiner. I don't think it has a name or anything. I think that was just them messing around. I want to get the Rhinox because I don't like the legs on my original Rhinox, but why is the head weird? It looks like the toy version of Rhinox. It honestly does. Tracks, yes. I want tracks. I want that core Soundwave because it's so tiny and you can take that anywhere. I love the fact that it's got a little laser beak, but would like to see more cassettes go with it, but I know why. And then what else is in the wave? Was that it?
You covered the deluxe Voyagers, yeah.
Oh, Dracodon looks cool. I'm not sure if I need it, but it's kind of a nice idea. And then Scorponok, I feel like it's kind of confusing to say what with Scorponok because in some images he's transformed differently, and I think there's a reason for that. In some images you can see the scorpion head up, and then the legs tucked away. But in other images, the head's all the way back, but the legs are spread out, like the scorpion legs. So I have a feeling that it's mistransformed just because they couldn't tuck the legs away. But I don't know. Interesting transformation, but I definitely want them because I need more Beast Wars characters. Hasbro, please, I'm begging you. Please do a Silver Bolt. I have Black Arachnia. Come on, we need him. But other than that, I want to get it. I want to get the wave, but if it comes down to it, it's probably going to be mostly Scorponok tracks. And yeah, if I have to pick 2, it's that.
Sam, so Rhinox, Scorponok, Wingfinger, Trex, Dracodon, and Soundwave. Are you getting any? Are you passing?
So I like all of the deluxe and core class. I think they're really, obviously the Trax is very cool. Scorponok, I do agree with some people that say his proportions are a little odd, right? It's like he skips leg day or something. And that is unfortunate, but he's still overall pretty solid. And I like the colors on him and everything. I like the head sculpt. Let's see. Wingfinger, I think, is cool. Looks like some sort of like bone ninja. That's pretty neat. I'm all for, new original ideas. Soundwave's okay, for a core class. My biggest thing, though, and yeah, I got on pre-order again because I'm a fool, is the Rhinox. This is perfection right here. I don't know. There was nowhere to go from here but down, really. And, it's got all the hallmarks of modern engineering, right? As far as the shoulders, everything. It's even got like the coveted like ankle tilt that most older toys don't have.
Mm-hmm.
It's got that proper chain guns that actually spin. It seems to be way out of budget for modern toys. So like you can't win, and it's a shame, right? You wouldn't think that like Thrilling 30 was what 2013-ish, right? So we're near a decade later. Now we're putting out toys that are worse than what we had back then, but cost like $5 more.
How could you say that this Scorponok is worse than the new one?
That's the best Scorponok right there. He don't need no stinking bot mode.
Titans one.
But yeah, the Rhinox to me is an utter disappointment from what I see. Again, when I get him in hand, maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe he's really solid, but I don't know how you can improve on this. The detail, everything in this guy. He's like a mini masterpiece, and the new one just isn't that. It's way too compromised.
I don't like the hips and the knees on that, though. That's my biggest gripe on it.
The old one?
Yeah.
They are a little loose, which to me I think is just a QC issue. They are, a little looser than they should be. But those could be tightened. And if that's the only problem, that's still pretty good.
He even has a waist joint too.
Yeah, he's got everything that a modern toy has as far as articulation. So I don't know anyone that could look me in the face and be like, the new one's better. No, it's not. He's got a little squished head. Doesn't have the maximal symbols printed on it. They really downgraded.
The only reason why I would get it, because I got the Thrilling 30 Rhinox, the only reason why I would get it is to put in the War for Cybertron collection. That's pretty much mostly it.
Maybe it matches the aesthetic of that line better. Yeah. But if I weren't such a completionist, I'd be perfectly happy just keep having him with the Kingdom toys, because he's pretty much the same scale and everything. I don't feel need to replace him.
Makes me curious on the Waspinator when they do that.
That's the other one I worry about, because my first thought when those got leaked forever ago with Rhinox and Waspinator is how do you improve on those? Even the Waspinator was perfect as far as I'm concerned. I can't think of a way to make it better. And
I didn't like that curve so much.
How you what?
The abdomen, the stinger sort of thing, the curve on it. If you could have articulation straighten out a little bit, it'd be better. But it's nitpicky. So.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But yeah,
now the Universe Classic Cheetor is another thing.
Oh, that's terrible. That's an awful.
Yeah, God, idiots. But I think I remember the Thrilling 30 coming out, and those figures kind of came and went. They weren't really a big deal at the time. They seemed to be an afterthought for the Thrilling 30.
Yeah.
So now with Kingdom, this is an anniversary thing, right? So they're basically trying to reconstruct that first wave of beasts, and I don't know if they'll go into the transmetals and everything. That seems like a huge commitment to do properly.
I know,
they're going to properly do the first wave, first season wave.
I can see them doing some characters that were only like Transmetal or Fusor, like that came later in the series if they were popular, like Silverbolt. I don't think they'll go out of their way to make like every version of every show character, though. Probably just going to be one per, if anything.
Oh yeah, people will say, "Well, you need to do this," and they even say that on G1 figures, and it's like, haven't we gotten so many G1 figures? How about we go a little bit outside of them? No, we need new gears. We need a new.
Yes.
I want to see them reissue Transmetal Megatron just to get one that doesn't break.
I mean, that Megatron has that opening side leg thing, so it's possible.
Okay, Dennis. Rhinox, Scorponok, Wingfinger, Trax, Dracodon, Soundwave, yay or nay?
Nay on Soundwave. I don't get the point of the main guys being essentially core legends class, whatever you want to call it. I never got any of those.
You're not a true Transformers fan.
Plus, I kind of don't like the back of his legs. Yes on Dracodon. I love Vertebrate. Give me a green one like it. I'm in, baby.
All the time.
Yes on Trax, but I'm not going to say that I'm super duper happy because the back of the car is bad. But he is better than the Generations Trax or the reveal issue or whatever it was. Wingfinger, I like the fossilizers. They're like a guilty pleasure. So yes on Wingfinger. And Scorponok. I'm so torn with Scorponok. I think the new one looks great, but I put a ton of work into a custom job of the original that I'm real happy with. Actually, I replaced the B claw on that one with the claw that I got from Bacon. And I managed to match the paint perfectly thereafter, and that was a good one.
You know, yours spoiled it for me, honestly. I look at that one, I'm like, it doesn't look as good as Dennis's.
There's this one.
I don't know if I'm going to like this one better than my custom. My take on it is this: if you just have the original, yeah, sure, maybe get this one because it's animation accurate. If you don't have the original, definitely get this one because Scorponok's fun. But for me, it's one of those I have to compare it to what my oh god, I got to compare it to what my custom turned out like, and that thing was a good job. I think this is great. I'm probably gonna get it. Am I gonna keep it? I don't know. And then we get to Rhinox. Again, is it better than T30? And I agree with everything that was said earlier about T30, the good and the bad. About the only way I could see this one improving is if the hips are better.
Yeah.
Is that enough to replace the T30?
Okay, so with Dennis, we're going to start looking at this guy here. Compare and contrast him with the Centurion drone from last year, because right now, personally, my opinion is Tricranius looks like a bunch of gummy worms stuck together.
Now I want to eat some gummy worms. I'm hungry.
Yes, just a bunch of.
You got an early copy.
Now I'm picturing you in kindergarten.
I have a prototype. Yeah.
You got a prototype.
Just don't eat the craft glue.
And I have to tell you, he does taste delicious.
Are we talking just the main character, or are we talking what these sets consist of as a whole?
Well, as far as Tricranius is concerned, are you getting him, or do you think he's worth the value for essentially a dozen blast effects and a $20 fossilizer versus the value, which I think was a lot more on the Centurion drone from last year?
Yeah. Just to be clear, I couldn't get the Centurion drone, and I, by rights, can't get this. But in that hypothetical that you like to speak, if 2 days ago, I think it was, actually Triple R reached out, and he's sourcing this for me because I love fossilizers. It's really simple as that. Would I have gotten the Centurion? Yes. Do I think the Centurion was the better value? Yes. I was very lucky that someone on Dragonfly has done really resin casts of most of that set for me. So looking at it kind of objectively, as I couldn't just buy both of them. It wasn't a part of my world. I think the first set was the better set, both in terms of the figure and in terms of what it came with.
Okay. Oops, wrong thing. So going to Sam, your thoughts on basically this gummy worm toy.
I more or less agree with Dennis. I'm not quite as excited for it as I was the Centurion drone one. And not saying it's bad in any way. I know a lot of people since War for Cybertron started have been asking for some sort of a fire blast, accessory pack or kit or something. And we didn't think we were going to get one. So it was kind of a nice surprise. Personally, I'd rather have the weapons and accessories that the figures, were lacking at retail than just a bunch of random fire blasts. And especially the fact that all the fire blasts are just recolors of the Jetfire and Omega Supreme one, which have actually been done several times over already. Scorponok recycled Jetfires. The Arc is using Jetfires in blue. Skylynx is using Omega Supremes in like a regular orange. So it's not very exciting. I'm like, oh, look, more of these. So I wouldn't say it's objectively worse because there's obviously a market for it. People want it. Personally, I would have just rather. I mean, there's so many Earthrise and Kingdom characters that are missing. Like, where's Cheetor's gut gun? I could have sworn we were going to get a gut gun in the next accessory pack, and I am so let down. Wheeljack's rifle, all this stuff. Give Sunstreaker an actual weapon would have been nice. So I think it's a bit of a miss. I like Tricranius for what it is. Again, I love the fossilizers. I like that they remolded the head frill to make it actual Triceratops instead of a Styracosaurus. And the lava thing's just cool. It makes me feel like a kid again, right? It doesn't make any sense. It's insane. It's kind of like the radioactive Dracodon there. But it's just cool in a kid playing with their toy kind of way. I like it. So, yeah, good, but not as good as the first one.
Okay, so Bacon, thoughts in comparison of the Centurion drone versus Tricranius here?
I want to be perfectly clear here. I need that dang Centurion drone. Anyone out there in the world, help me! I agree. I think the Centurion drone, at least the add-ons, the little bits and pieces, the guns, the jetpacks, the weapons, all that stuff, that was very thoughtful. They thought of that, we were going to buy all these different figures, and your little investment in there would be so much more enhanced by having the better gun for Prime, the extra pieces for Sideswipe, and so on. This, to me, I think, I'd really like the Fossilizer, but I think where they really missed out was the blast effects. Both the colors are just bleh. I don't know why they settled on those two colors. They just should have done the most obvious glowing, blazing oranges and reds and the kinds of things that would accentuate the toys. I felt like they went for kind of a fashion statement for some weird thing. Maybe they're trying to appeal to the female side or something. But I do like the Fossilizer itself. But I just feel like it's kind of unnecessary. Again, they could have just really dotted so many I's across so many T's across the board. For all of these guys, some of those little wing fuel things for Grapple or Ironhide would have been great. The little wings. We could just think of 20 things off the top of our head. So, I guess this one was for the kids. I passed on it.
Okay, so Ugly Wretch, assuming ideal world you could get these, do you have a preference over the Centurion drone or Tricranius? And do you want one? Do you want both? Do you pass on both?
Centurion drone came with more goodies, which would be a lot more interesting things. Like, I'm not that interested in the blast effects. Personal preference, I'm not. But this new one just looks prettier. I know the colours are stupid, but it's interesting. The Centurion drone was just kind of bland. At least the vibrant colours, it's interesting. I mean, all the other Fossilizers are quite bland colours as well, from what I've seen. So, I mean, it wouldn't mix so well with them, but at least it's something different. So, I don't know. I like the colours of it.
Okay, so since I have you, we're going to move on to this next thing. Shattered Glass. So, as you may know, they revealed Megatron this past week, and then before that, Blur. And I'm going to read the list here. There are rumors for Commander Jetfire, Voyager, Starscream, a Deluxe Goldbug. So I think there might be one more, but I don't have it on this list. But Ugly Wretch, which ones of these would you get from Shattered Glass?
Goldbug, definitely. If
Me too! That's the only one I want!
Can you show the vehicle mode on this? 'Cause it's some really awful looking jet, isn't it?
Well, it's Siege Megatron, so he can actually be a tank. But they gave him an alt mode, which is his legs just stretched out.
That's awful. I would just stick to Goldbug.
Yeah, and that little cap with the windows on there. I think they did pretty well.
I
think it looks cool.
Totally in for all the SG. I gotta be honest.
Because Firetalk is making mods for Siege Megatron, so for those who don't want Shattered Glass, can still have this mode. So I thought it was pretty cool. So anyway, continue on, Ugly Wretch.
Oh God! Hang on, what? There's more? God, well, where was I up to?
Oh, well, were you in for Megatron? What about Blur? And then you said you wanted Goldbug.
I think of all of them, I'm just Goldbug personally. I think that's about it. I'm not that interested in the others.
Okay, so in that case, we will move on to Bacon. Bacon, Shattered Glass, thoughts?
I already have my Shattered Glass desired figure. I don't know if they're going to work this guy into it. They got him, man. Him in the Ratchet, that would be such a mistake. And I'll even refer back to the Centurion drone. I'm a weaponizer guy, even though the fossilizers are kind of fun. But as for the rest of them, I like the Megatron, but I'm really kind of disappointed. I was hoping we'd get kind of, a reboot of the Takara, and they made it in Energon too. The smaller Megatron mold that was shared with Galvatron. I was surprised they kind of rebooted this thing with the "Hey, greetings."
Hey, sorry for the late join.
Rebooted thing with the Siege Megatron, and that you could even pull that off with putting the little cap on there to make the windows. But it looks good. I'm impressed. And I guess it's what, $6 more than normal?
Because he also comes with a comic book.
Yeah, you get the comic book too. Boy, I only bought the primes and stuff for the last Shattered Glass when they came out with BotCon, and I really wished I had got everything. So they're not selling out, so I feel like probably I'm going to end up picking them all up at some point.
Okay, so since we have, because Brian is away for something going on at his house here, we have George, who who's in here now from Lazy Eyebrow, and the topic is the Shattered Glass reveals, which include this lovely gentleman here in his jet mode. Are you getting him? Are you getting Blur? Assuming in an ideal world you could in Canada, are you getting Goldbug? Are you getting Starscream, Jetfire?
I'm not getting it. Like, you guys can hear me, right?
Yes, you're fine. Yeah.
Excellent. I'm not getting any of the Shattered Glass just because there's only so much money to go around, and the line itself just doesn't appeal to me. But I mean, like, the idea appeals to me, but not the figures, if that makes sense. But the Megatron I thought was just super cool. Like, I think it's the kind of the most original thing they've done in a long time. Like, I get the alt mode is just a tank but stretched out with wings, but I mean, like, in concept it's kind of cool. I haven't seen Jetfire or Goldbug yet, but I haven't picked up any of the other Shattered Glass ones yet. I kind of just don't plan to at this point, considering their exclusivity of buying them aftermarket's a little pricey.
Okay. Sam, thoughts on Shattered Glass?
Overall, I'm pretty impressed. I'm not a huge fan of the Studio Series Blur mold, especially the giant arm kibble that has been done so much better by pretty much every other version of the toy, or the character, I mean. But I do like this. I think the cool colors and the head sculpt do make it a lot more appealing than the regular version. I like that they actually worked in his like Cybertron head sculpt, basically. So that's pretty cool. The Megatron, I know it's had some very mixed reactions. Some people love it, some people hate it. A lot of people wanted to be the Galvatron mold. I think this might be for the best because, yes, like the Energon Megatron toy was based on Galvatron, at least in bot mode, but I don't think the Kingdom Galvatron could come close to take on a mode anything resembling like that Starship mode. And even though the new ship mode on this Megatron is a little wonky, I actually like it. I like toys where it seems like the designers were just sitting around like playing and fan moding, even though they're the ones that make the toys, and like, hey, what if we stuck wings on this? So I think it's creative. I like it for what it is. I wish they would have retooled the face to make it less sinister looking because he's supposed to be a good guy. But as far as the Jetfire, I'm assuming it's just going to be a black redeco of the Commander class, which I'm all for. I think it looks cool. Starscream's apparently supposed to be the Tetrajet version, which is okay, I guess. And I'm really curious about Goldbug. I don't know how they're going to do him, right? Because the original Shatterglass Goldbug was an Excellion recolor, which is way, way different than anything you think of when you think of Bumblebee or Goldbug. So I don't know if they're going to just redeco Bumblebee. Maybe they'll use the Cliffjumper version because it's more boxy like Goldbug. Or maybe they'll do something surprising that's, a little more sports car like the original SG Goldbug is. So I hope we see that soon. I'm really curious about that one. It's going to be interesting.
Okay, go ahead, Dennis.
Informal. I like Shattered Glass, and I've said for a long time I'd like to have, I'd like maybe a team of 5 on each side. So I don't need like 500 on each side, but just a little kind of nod to Shattered Glass. I've wanted it for years. So I got the Optimus and the Ratchet, and when the Blur came out, I wasn't going to get Blur, and when it came out, I was like, man, that's beautiful. I was able to source it, luckily. And the same with Megatron. I said, if nothing else, I need to at least have Megatron because I have the Optimus. And it just, for me, it feels right. I hadn't heard of the Starscream, but I will get the Starscream, definitely. The only one that I'm not sure about is I don't know if I want Jetfire. I'll have to see it, but my inclination is I'm in for it.
Okay, so we're gonna go on to a. By the way, does this sound any better, or I tweaked a few things?
It's a lot more clear.
Best you've been all night.
Yeah.
Okay, cool beans. So let me pull up. We're gonna do something a little different. Now, this next segment is totally almost all fantasy. But thanks to Larkin's Lair. By the way, if you're watching, if you join the Transformers reviewers and you join the Discord server, Larkin, who is the owner of that particular server, he posts leaks that are found via the internet. More often than that from TFormers.com. I think that belongs to somebody here in this panel. I don't remember who. So anyway, so you get the leaks like pretty much right away as soon as Larkin sources them, and then you get access to these pre-orders that I'm going to list here. If you were privileged enough to be on the Discord, you could have pre-ordered from Amazon US Tigertron, Pipes, Waspinator, Pterosaur, Slammer, Shadow Panther, Slug and Daniel, Wreck-Gar, Sweep, Gnaw, Grinder Ravage, Bumblebee Sam, Jolt, Sideswipe, Thrust. Legit pre-orders on Amazon. They released starting in August through October. That is a perk you get from joining the Discord server that the Transformers reviewers use. And now I've named all of these guys, and we're going to start with Dennis. I'm trying to think of a way to display this list here. But we already know about Generation Select's class T-Rex, and a number of these, did you know about them already being something? Because I think you did mention Waspinator. Yeah. But Pterosaur, Slammer, I believe, is one of the work bots for one of the Titans. I want to say Metroplex.
Yep. Yeah.
Shadow Panther is a recolor of Cheetor. And then in Studio Series 86, Slug, of course, is a leader class. Red Guard's a Voyager. The Sweep is what I'm told is a beardless, fingernail paintless Sweep, and then a deluxe Gnaw, which I have a feeling is just going to be a re-release of the Prime Wars Gnaw, which is technically a Legends class, which will be a core class.
I hope not.
Yeah, I hope they're upsizing it. Because the Cyberverse Gnaw was pretty nifty. And then we have from Transformers Movie 2, Grinder Ravage, Bumblebee and Sam, Jolt, Sideswipe, and then from the 6th movie, Thrust. And we already mentioned the Generation Select G1 Megatron. So that long list you just heard, what are you getting? What are you passing on? And if you need help, let me know, and I will update.
No, I don't need help because I got the list because I talked about it last night on my show, and I still have that here.
Okay.
So the Earthrise, or I'm saying Earthrise, I'm sorry. I guess it's Earthrise. Mirage and Grimlock. I wanted to mention that one. Neat idea. I don't think I need it, but I bet you people will go for it. If for nothing else, they're going to want that Siege repaint of Mirage. Kingdom Galvatron, the Gold Bug, I would be in for. I don't think I need any of the Studio Series, like regular stuff like Grindor, for example, or like the Bumblebee with Sam. The 86 stuff, if Slag is as good as Grimlock and he looks to be, I'm in for it. Wreck-Gar, I'm in for. I'm thinking DevCon from the Sweep, maybe. I think now is going to be a complete new mold.
Nope, there we go. I got it up there.
Jolt, I don't need. Sideswipe, I don't need. The Bumblebee Thrust. A lot of people know I'm trying to kind of complete a version of the 13, and I feel like, man, I could do something with that guy to bring out his inner Liege Maximo. So maybe him. Slammer, I don't know. I probably will. I have everyone else, but I do have the Iron Factory Slammer, so I don't know. Pipes, definitely. Shadow Panther, I don't think so. Tigatron for sure. Waspinator, I don't see being better than the Generations one. I don't know. I don't know about Waspinator.
Oh, you were done. Okay.
I think that's pretty much everything that was on the list.
The list is on the screen now.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Okay, Sam, seeing on the list here, so I don't have to repeat it. What is pass? What is buy?
That last one there, the Leader G1 Megatron, is that supposed to be Galvatron?
Oh, yep, I typed in the wrong one. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So actually, I am on that Discord you mentioned. I did manage to see that when those went up and got them all pre-ordered for the most part. So I'm probably going all in on those. Except the Bumblebee and Sam, because I'm pretty positive that's the exact same one that got released under the Buzzworthy subline. So there's no point in getting that. It's the same toy, just has a red backdrop instead of a yellow one. But yeah, I mean, I'm down for pretty much everything that's on the list, even though we haven't seen a lot of those yet. I mean, I'm going to give them, kind of a leap of faith with the Tigatron and the pipes and all that. Curious to see how Waspinator is going to turn out. Apparently, Slammer's a redeco of Warpath, which is, I mean, it works. It's supposed to be a tank. It's a little weird because all the other Titan partners that have been in this trilogy have been weaponizers of some kind. So he's going to kind of be the odd man out there. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. And yeah, I want him. I'm good with all this.
Okay. George, thoughts on this list here?
Well, I am kind of intrigued by this whole Voyager Tigatron thing. I figured that'd be a redeco of Cheetor, and that was a deluxe. Sort of surprised to see that, unless it's like accessories or whatnot. But I never was into Beast Wars, but I've been watching it recently, and I've been picking up everything that is Beast Wars. So yeah, I'll pick up Tigatron and Pterosaur and Waspinator and stuff. don't know Slammer. I'll probably pick up Pipes though, and I'm not entirely sure what Shadow Panther is. I'm guessing that's a Beast Wars things again.
Yeah, he's a black Cheeto repaint.
Oh, okay. I don't know the context of that, but I'll probably grab it. As for the Studio Series stuff, I'm definitely grabbing Leader Slug. Voyager Wreck-Gar, maybe, depending on how it looks when I see it, because I still have the old Generations one, and I find those bikes still amazing. Probably grab just one sweep. Deluxe Gnaw, again, that's very heavily dependent on how it looks, because, I mean, if it's the old one, it's the old one. There's no sense for getting it. As for the movie stuff, I'm surprised they're doing Jolt again. They must be getting to the bottom of the barrel in terms of characters they can release, because that was such a one-off. What was it, like 6 seconds of screen time for that one? I'm surprised it exists. But I'm definitely grabbing Sideswipe, though. I really like that Centennial Corvette mode he has. I think that's the thing with the movie versus Studio Series ones. If it's got a cool car, I'll buy it. Otherwise, it's just an ugly robot again. Not grabbing any of this Shattered Glass. I'm guessing the Leader Galvatron is like a G1 toy redeco. Is that what that is?
It is the one that's about to come out, but with G1 cartoon colors.
Oh, I didn't know that.
G1 toy colors.
Or, yeah.
Yeah. Mostly gray.
Oh, okay. Oh, then, yeah, I'll just stick with the one I've already pre-ordered then.
Okay. Bacon, on this list, yes and no's.
Let's see. T-Rex, no. Tigatron, please don't. Hasbro, don't make that a copy of the Cheetor. That Cheetor is just, well, it's okay, but missed opportunity. So that's a TBA for me. Pipes, yeah. If that's a recolor of the Huffer, I'm down with that. Waspinator, again, like the others have said, TBA. Pterosaur, gotta see what they're making. I hope it's not a Air Razor recolor. Probably gonna be. Slammer, I didn't get the Warpath, so I don't know. But I've been surprised. In War for Cybertron, they've done some really good repaints. And it may be, that this is even better than Warpath. So, again, Shadow Panther, that's probably almost surely what we think it is. So, we'll see. The Studio Series, I've only picked up a couple of those, so I'd like to see what the Gnaw looks like in the Wreck-Gar. Movie stuff, and I am interested in the Shattered Glass stuff, pretty much all of those. And I'm waiting for the V1 Galvatron, so there you go.
Okay. Ugly Wretch, you see the list here. What would you, in an ideal world, what would you like to have, and what are you going to pass on?
The main ones I'd be interested in trying to get hold of Pipes, Waspinator, Pterosaur, Wreck-Gar maybe, and Shatterglass Goldbug. Otherwise, not that interested, to be honest.
Okay. I ended up, because Sam and I were on the Discord, I ended up getting or pre-ordering Tigatron Pipes, Waspinator, Pterosaur, Slug, Daniel, Wreck-Gar, the Sweep, Gnaw. But I reserved the Gnaw and the Waspinator because of the Waspinator came out in Thrilling 30s. So I feel like a proper Waspinator should be like Cup and it come apart easily for obvious reasons. And for Gnaw, I need it to be more than just a repaint of the Prime Wars Gnaw, and I need it to be probably closer to the Cyberverse Gnaw, if anybody's grabbed that, because he's a nice and chunky. He compares well to the Alicons in size. Definitely, I like that. And I think Goldbug was available for pre-order. If he wasn't, then I didn't, but I think I pre-ordered Goldbug. I don't know if the pre-order is still available. It had to do this weird thing where you put it into your wish list and then you buy it to pre-order it. So, it is what it is. Gotta hate that saying. Okay, so we pretty much got to the end of this. Just a reminder that at 10 o'clock, Eastern Time, which is in about 10 minutes. Deluxe Baldwin will have his Q&A with Fire Talks. So go check out Deluxe Baldwin's channel in about 10 minutes. And so what we're going to do is our normal wrap-up. We are going to have everybody, starting with Ugly Wretch, tell you where you can find their content. And so remember to go to their channels, like and subscribe, check out their social media. So Ugly Wretch, go ahead and tell people how they can find you.
All right, I'm on YouTube, obviously, with the name that's just there. I'm on Instagram. There's a Facebook page. And if you really, really want me, there's an email address attached to the YouTube and all the rest of it. It's I'm around. You can find me.
Okay, go ahead, Bacon. Tell people how they can find you.
TFormers.com and hashtag TFormers or search on most social networks.
I don't know if Kato is messing with me now. He just comes in. I thought this mic was doing well. I don't understand. George, go ahead and tell people how they can find you.
You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Discord, and Twitter. It's all Lazy Eyebrow, basically. One word. If you look it up, you'll find it.
Okay. Sam, go ahead and tell people how they can find you.
So you can find me on my YouTube channel, which is TF Collector. I also have Facebook, Instagram. I'm on Twitter for some reason. Still haven't figured out why. You can find like the URLs to all those in the descriptions of my videos, things like that. I'm also on the three like big fan sites here in the U.S. We have TFormers.com, Sabertron.com, and TFW 2005 as Lore Keeper. So if you see some idiot named Lore Keeper spouting out, that's me. And yeah, I think that's about it. And also I'm on the TF Reviewers Discord now, so you can find me there. Okay.
Go ahead, Dennis. Tell people how they can find you.
I have to ask two questions first, because this was the two topics that, or two questions that I had that I was most looking forward to the answer to tonight, and George joined us late. Sorry. And well, both of them are actually ones that I thought that you would have given your thoughts on when we got to those characters, and we came in late, we missed it. So I just wanted to go back. Tracks.
Yes.
What did you think of the back of that vehicle mode?
I haven't seen the back of the vehicle mode yet, but based on what I've seen so far,
yeah,
not thrilled. It's the same problem I had with Jazz, where it's just like it's a cartoonified version of the car.
Wait till you see the back.
Oh, that doesn't inspire hope. Thanks. I'm looking it up while you say your second question.
Okay, and with the Commander Rodimus, A, how much the front juts out, but B, what did you think of the tires on it?
I think the tires on Painted look ugly.
Yes!
Like, everything about that just kind of rubs me the wrong way, except, you know what sold me? And it's going to be a really stupid thing, but it was those little pistons on the back door.
I mentioned it earlier.
Like, I saw that, like, okay, it's pre-ordered.
Yeah.
All I'm seeing are pictures of the front.
Yeah.
Darn.
Yeah, you got to look. It's not good. It's a bad scene. Anyway, that being said, well, I'll leave you with that nightmare. I could be found pretty much everywhere. I search up GotBot or Cranky Old Man. I'm around. And earlier I gave my addresses. I can't remember what they all are. They're in the description of every single video anyway.
Okay, so I am Anthony from HNE Games. You can find me on YouTube at HNE Games. I'm also a website, haslage.net, haslage.net. You can also find us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. So check us out there. Remember to subscribe and like everybody's videos, all of them. If you have multiple accounts, do it again. Cover all the bases. Just a reminder again, in about 5 minutes, Deluxe Baldwin's channel, he's interviewing Fire Talks, who is our most recent affiliate member. So go check that out. Also, next month, if you are a Transformers reviewer, a member or an affiliate, if you're interested in being a next month's panel, please reach out to me, Anthony at HNE Games, and we're building that panel. I don't have a topic yet. But there'll probably be something to talk about. But thank you all for watching, and thank you all for the 6 of you who participated. I'm going to switch real quick back to Brian here. Hold on, I'm gonna do something real quick. Boop. Boop. Hi, Brian.
Hi.
You're back.
Sorry, neighbors were having a huge feud.
So I'm going to give you the last word. So tell everybody how they can find you, and then I'm going to sign out.
You can find me at the Lazy Eyebrow Reviewer. That's the YouTube channel.
That's so good.
T-Fan Page 11 is my channel. Also, Ultimate Doom is my other channel. I got Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You go to one of my videos, you'll see the link. So, yeah, I guess that's pretty much everything. Bye.